Recap of the breaking news. New Zealand have beaten England by 34 points to 31 in the final of the Women's Rugby Union World Cup final. Amy Turner's been watching with us all morning, and we're going to get some more reaction now from the former England international, Vicky Fleetwood. Vicky, I'm sure like the rest of us, you could barely watch, could you, those final few minutes? How are you feeling now? You know that team, you know the work they've put in, and it's heartbreak for them.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty flat. Obviously, my friends are out there. They're the ones that are playing and taking the field. And for them to actually go 60 minutes down to 14 and put in such an incredible effort was phenomenal. And to lose it in the way that they did, 99 out of 100 times, England are scoring that in that last play. And to lose that line out kind of in the last few seconds is going to be heartbreaking for them.
Vicky, it seems strange saying it because they played for so long with 14, but was that red card decisive? If England had 15 on the pitch the full game, do you think they'd have gone on to win it?
Absolutely. To be able to go toe-to-toe for 60 minutes with a player down, you know, if you've got that extra player, yeah, I definitely think that England would have won by plenty, you know, going into this game. They'd shown what a force to be reckoned with that they were. 30 games on the bounce, you know, that they've won. So, yeah, it was theirs to lose. And unfortunately, losing Lydia so early on, you know, that wasn't meant to be England's day today.
And Amy, we were talking just moments ago. What a turnaround for New Zealand. They brought in Wayne Smith, former All Blacks coach. I mean, he knows what it's like to win a World Cup on home soil. They were able to call on the likes of Dan Carter and Kevin Malami. That's a hell of a black book he gets to use. And the difference that he's made in that last year, and a word on what New Zealand have done.
That he's definitely unpinned their potential, and the performances the likes of Demant has put in over the whole World Cup and today, they're opportunists, and they've been given that space by the coaching team to embrace who they are and their DNA, and they've done that in a World Cup final, so credit to them. Absolutely outstanding.
Question to both of you here. Amy, coming in a moment. We'll go to Vicky first. You will know a lot of the players that have been wearing white today, Vicky. What do you say to them at this moment? If you sent them a message, what would you... Can you say anything at this point in time?
I don't think so. I've been there. It's really hard to console players when, you know, it's been a 4-year journey. You've been through so much, whether that's injury, selection, whatever it is. And to get to the World Cup final is incredible, but to lose in the way that they did, I think it's, you know, like we said, it's heartbreaking for the girls, and I'll have to have like a long think before I do message them, because I know exactly how they're going to be feeling. And it's really hard when you've put so much time and effort into it.
And the same question for you, Amy. Some of them are your players at Harlequins. What do you say?
You've just got to give them the space to process it. There's nothing that we could say from an external that's going to make them feel better. They'll look back in 2 or 3 years and they'll recognise the achievements and the massive thing they've done for the game wider. But at this moment in time, it's just space and time that they need, and you just can't say anything. You really can't.
Okay.
Absolutely heartbreaking for them all. Thank you very much for joining us, both of you. I'm just sorry for you and people you know so well that it didn't work out the way that everybody would have hoped this morning. Yeah, let's head off to Twickenham as well, where Jackie Beltrao was at a watch party. Barely hear yourself think a little bit earlier on, Jackie. I think the atmosphere has probably changed, hasn't it, sadly?
Yes, sadly, it is a very, very muted atmosphere now. It's people have piled out of the pub pretty quickly. Giselle Mather joins me again. Giselle knows what it's like to win a World Cup. She won the first Women's World Cup for England in 1994. And Giselle, that's hard to take, isn't it?
It's desperately hard to take. I mean, to play 60 minutes with 14 players in a World Cup final with 40,000 people all on the other side is desperately, desperately difficult. So you couldn't have asked any more of our athletes out there. They have given everything for the cause, and enormously proud of them, but absolutely devastated for them.
Could they have done anything differently? I mean, we were all looking at that last line out thinking their line out has been so fantastic. Most of their tries have come from their line outs. In fact, it just wasn't to be, was it?
I think to do things differently, yes, in any game of rugby, that's the sport. It's decision making in chaotic situations, and every single situation, every decision that can be made has an impact on the game and what happens next. And there were a few things that I think when England look back on, they might have gone, oh, we should have done that differently. But conversely, same as New Zealand, and you have to play in the moment, and that's what these players train so hard for. That the Allianz Premier 15s that the girls play in, so highly competitive domestic league, that gives them opportunities to make those decisions under pressure like that. But those girls would never have been under that kind of pressure. 40,000 people all cheering from the other side. I know I've said it once, but that's huge. To be faced with a situation, you train for your what-if scenarios, but to be faced with a situation of 60 minutes with 14 players in a World Cup final, that changes everything you do. Your plays, so we've lost one of our wingers, so your plays, how you're running things, and you could see England lost a little bit of shape and then we had to ask our forwards to do more work because of that situation, because we didn't have the players that can run in and hold lines and do that, so we lost a little bit of shape.
Was that the game changer, the fact that England played most of that match with 14 women? I mean, Lydia Thompson's going to feel terrible.
Well, you can see the tackling low thing, when you're going against, it was against Portia Woodman, you've got to put your whole self into it. She didn't, it was a technical issue, she's coming across at speed, that's the game, but we have to have player welfare and player safety at the forefront, and those kind of situations are happening in a lot of the men's games as well, where players have got to get lower and lower, and we have to do that for the safety of the sport. So is it Lydia's fault? No, it wasn't malicious, she didn't do that, she's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. It wasn't malicious, she didn't, it just is a technical thing of two bodies coming together, but head-on-head contact we have to eliminate from the game.
They did leave everything out there, though. I mean, can they take anything from that final? I mean, it's going to take some getting over, I would imagine.
Some getting over, yeah. But they've given everything. I mean, the scoreline is only 3 points in it. It's one penalty difference in it. And between those two teams, what they've both done out there is given women's rugby, women's sport, the most phenomenal showcase to show now that women's sport is here. It's not going away. It's getting better and better and better. It's a fabulous spectacle, and for that, all of us in female sport have to thank those athletes that were out on that field today, because they have again, just like our Lionesses did back in the summer, have raised the profile of our game, given the youngsters in our country seeing, I can do that too. That could be me in 10, 12, however many years.
I can see it now, so I can be it. Giselle Mather, thank you very much for your thoughts. This morning we were really hoping that the party was going to continue here and continue long into the day, but it wasn't to be, was it? It just wasn't to be. But what a fantastic final we have just witnessed.